You wouldn't like me when I'm hungry. It's Harmless Phosphorescence. Everybody, this is Throw Smiley, and I know a few techniques that can help you manage that anger very effectively. Who's joining me this week?
I'm Josh Cece, and I guess I have a little more kick than you were looking for.
I'm Brian Lesh, and like the Hulk, I was named by an innocent bystander.
I'm Alaric Weber, and I'm going with a completely different origin story this time.
And this is Harmless Phosphorescence. This is the podcast where we watch every theatrically released live-action, full-length superhero movie ever made. We gather some research into the production and the source material, then we tell you all about it. This show is brought to you by patrons. Patrons like executive producers Michael Beckwith and Atticus Burkett. You can be a patron too. Go to patreon.com/harmlessentertainment. We got lots of bonus content there. And I would just like to mention, we are live streaming this on YouTube. Yes, you can watch us do this live every Sunday morning. Check your local listings to find out the time in your time zone. There's no local listings.
We pay a lot to be in the TV guide.
We're in the top 4 shows.
That stream on YouTube and are listed in the TV guide.
Yep.
We're the only 4 people that know TV Guide is still being printed. But you can head over there. Make sure you like us. Make sure you subscribe to us. And leave us a review if you're listening to this in podcast form on your podcast listening app of choice, whether it be iTunes or Podcast Addict or what have you. We'd appreciate it. It'd help other people find us. And we'll send some good thoughts out your way. Because that's all we got is good thoughts. So that brings us to our show this week. This week, the movie we are watching is The Incredible Hulk.
I've got a problem. There are aspects of my personality that I can't control.
See a shrink?
It's a little bit more complicated than that.
Bruce, trust me when I tell you I've heard them all.
Not this one.
We've never seen anything even close to your levels of exposure. That you survived an event like that, it's beyond my comprehension.
I don't want to control it. I want to get rid of it.
As far as I'm concerned, that man's whole body is property of the U.S. Army.
They want it as a weapon. If we let it go, we will never get it back.
What was that?
There's only one thing that can fight that. It's in me.
Maybe if I can control it, I can use it.
All right, The Incredible Hulk. Released June 13th.
A lot of scenes in that trailer that did not make it into the movie.
Yeah. I was surprised, actually, watching the trailer after watching the movie, how many scenes there were that weren't, actually. Because at no point did Phil Dunphy and Bruce Banner talk in the actual film.
Yeah. Oh, you're right. They didn't share a scene. That's true.
He just stole his lady, and they left town.
Yeah.
Yeah, we're going to talk about that.
Yeah, we're going to talk about a lot of stuff. That's why we have a podcast.
Okay. Huh.
But yeah.
I thought we were just going to watch the trailer and go home.
Yeah, we're done. Bye, everybody. We'll see you next week.
Yeah. Watch 4 guys watch the trailer.
That's our new YouTube channel. 4 guys watching a trailer. To be fair, there's dumber YouTube channels.
Hell yeah.
This movie was released June 13th, 2008. The second entry into the MCU. It has a running time of 112 minutes, budget of $150 million, and it made $264. So it wasn't exactly a failure, but not great by MCU standards.
Yeah, we weren't quite there yet. I mean, I know I was excited to see it and went, but yeah.
Yeah, I was excited for it at the time, but it definitely wasn't. This movie's weird. It's got one foot in like 2000s style, like Daredevil,
Yeah,
like
that level.
X-Men, like that kind of stuff, and then one foot in the MCU, and it's a really weird hybrid movie.
Mm-hmm.
It's also got a third foot in the 70s TV show.
It does.
That's true.
Yeah.
They make
Yeah.
numerous direct references to it.
Right, more than. Yeah, that's a good point.
I don't know. I could toss off a few right now that aren't really plot relevant. None of them really are plot relevant, but like there's little things like in the beginning when he's in that machine, that's an exact the shot and the machine is designed after the shot in the machine from the beginning of the Incredible Hulk TV show.
Okay.
Yep. Bill Bixby obviously has a cameo from what is it? My Dad, Eddie. What is it? Courtship of Eddie's Father.
Courtship of Eddie's Father.
That's right. That's playing. There's they actually used the Incredible Hulk theme song at one point. The really sad piano.
The Lonely Man.
Oh
music.
Yeah.
Right, when David Banner was wandering.
Yeah. So they throw out a lot of Easter eggs for you for
well, and Lou Ferrigno, of course.
Yeah.
Lou Ferrigno and we'll get to that, but in the casting, but yeah, he didn't just have a cameo. He was actually much more involved in this.
Yeah.
But we'll get that shortly. First, we have a few things to take care of, guys. We need to talk about a little something called the Box Office Top 10 Game.
Yes.
Here it is, coming at you, folks. This is the game where every week we count down the top 10 movies in the nation for the week this movie opened, which is June 13th, 2008. The guys try to guess where this opened, and they also try to guess what movie I'm describing when I describe it to them, using only the box office mojo description, leaving out important proper nouns as need be. Folks, we need you all to guess where you think this opened. Brian, you don't go first often, or at least that's how I remember it. So why don't you go first this time?
Number 2.
Brian says 2. Al, coming at you.
Oh, dang. That leaves me in a hard spot because I was going to go number 2. How long ago did Iron Man open up?
Iron Man was like about 2 months prior.
2 months, wow.
A month to 2 months.
Because I was thinking if they were too close together, then Iron Man would still be number 1. I think people were still a little hesitant about this movie because of the first Hulk. Didn't know what to expect. Could it have pushed its way to number 1? I don't know. Number 3.
Number 3. I love hearing Al's inner monologue out loud.
I do too.
I just want that on tape. Josh,
What was Brian's?
Brian said 2, Al said 1.
No, I said 3.
Oh, you said 3? Okay.
Yeah.
3 and
I'm going to say... Oh, well, first of all, we could, not that it matters a single bit, but we can guess in the order that we ranked in the top 4 in the future if you want. Number 1.
Okay, Josh is 1. So we got 2, 3, and 1. And here we go, guys. Let's dive into the top 10. Number 10 for the week of June 13th, 2008. A man and a woman are compelled, for legal reasons, to live life as a couple for a limited period of time. At stake is a large amount of money.
Wow.
That description was so specific.
It's like a waspy Brewster's Millions. Right. They have to they have to stay together for a while?
For a limited period of time.
Vince Vaughn and Jennifer Aniston with a piece of tape across the room?
No, it's not that one, but it's kind of that same thing. It's Cameron Diaz and Ashton Kutcher.
Ugh.
Yeah. Yeah, exactly.
That made my stomach hurt. Okay.
The tagline for the movie was "Get Lucky." It helped nobody.
Gross. Yeah, no, I don't know this one.
It's called What? Oh, go ahead, Josh.
No, I was going to say The Boss's Daughter. I think he was in that.
Oh, yeah. No, it's called What Happens in Vegas.
An entire movie written and produced based around an advertising slogan.
What happens in Vegas stays in Cameron Diaz. I'm so sorry. There are no points awarded. Actually, we all get 10 points for not seeing that movie. Coming in at number 9. Oh boy. A group of siblings return to a land where they are enlisted to once again help ward off an evil and restore the rightful heir to the land's throne.
This is the second Chronicles of Narnia.
Yeah.
No. Wait, yes?
Yeah, 100% is.
The Lion, the Witch, and the Wardrobe?
No,
That's the first
that was the
one.
first one.
Prince Caspian.
Yes, it is
Yeah.
Prince Caspian.
I
Prince
thought it
Caspian.
because there was last week there was some movie that sounded like the Chronicles of Narnia, but it was something completely different.
Yeah.
This was the late
It was-
2000s. Every third movie sounded like the Chronicles of Narnia.
Okay. Yeah.
Yeah. Everybody's trying to recapture that Lord of the Rings and Harry Potter.
Right.
I was
Literature.
I was talking about the Narnia movies with Jude yesterday, and how like The Lion, the Witch, and the Wardrobe was trying so hard to be Lord of the Rings with like the
Yeah.
giant sweeping battles and everything, and that's not what that book was at all.
Yeah.
No.
I don't know about you guys. I read those books a lot as a kid, like 3-4 times through, personally. But I was extremely disappointed with the film adaptations.
I read them in grade school, yeah, and I only saw the first one. I was really excited for Liam Neeson to be the voice.
Sure, of Lion Jesus.
Aslan. Yeah.
Yeah.
There was an animated version when I was a kid that I
Yeah.
particularly enjoyed.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I remember that one.
PBS, I think.
Yeah.
The books never really grabbed me.
No.
I was a big fan. The best one, hot take of the week, best Narnia book, A Horse and His Boy. Fight me on,
Really?
on Twitter. Yeah.
All right. A horse and his boy.
I can't tell if you legitimately have an opinion about that, Josh, or just doing a bit.
I don't have an opinion. Go ahead.
Coming in at number 8. A young couple staying in an isolated vacation home are terrorized by 3 unknown assailants.
The Strangers
Yo, yes, indeed. So
with Liv Tyler as well.
oh, she was in that. Yeah.
Ah.
Huh. She had a big week.
She did.
Not since she wore a schoolgirl outfit for her dad.
Yep.
Here's Arwen. She's
Oh yeah.
got other things happening.
No, she was Arwen. She was in Armageddon. You know, she did stuff. So, Josh, you get 5 points for The Strangers because that's the number that I just saw on my phone screen. And
Okay.
for the Narnia thing, everybody gets 4 points because it was a group effort. Like Al guessed Caspian, you guessed Narnia too. Josh stayed silent, so
Moral
he gets
support.
something for that. Yeah.
We all win a lion's pelt.
An alliance belt. Coming in at number 7. Oh boy. After being held captive, an eccentric billionaire creates a unique invention.
Wow.
Iron
So
Man.
Al was right. Yeah.
What'd you say, Al?
Iron Man.
Yes. Yes, indeed. Iron Man still on the charts.
I would think so. 2 months
Yeah, it was
earlier.
one of the biggest movies of the year. There, I'm wondering how often, since Iron Man, there's been multiple MCU movies, like out at the same time, still in theaters. I feel
That's
like
a good question.
I feel like not often because there's like a 3-month window at this point. Or, well, now there's like a no window because it's 2021. But up until
Right.
about a year ago, there was like a 3-month window that things were in theaters.
I feel like one of the Guardians movies
Hmm.
either came out on the tail end of something or shortly before.
Oh, were like Guardians and Ant-Man out at the same time? Something like that?
I think Age
Guardians
of Ultron and then Guardians, I think, right? Wasn't that the
Yeah,
order?
that sounds right.
yeah.
That's
Sometime over the next few months, we'll find out.
yeah,
true.
we'll know for sure. We'll let you guys know.
Um,
Well, I think the reason for that is because this is a different production company, right?
Yeah.
Than Marvel. itself.
Oh,
Well,
that
no, no.
explains some things.
Marvel made it, but it was distributed by what was it, Columbia? Universal. Thank you, Al. Yeah.
This could have hobbled the MCU. I mean, this was the second foray, and it's not great. It's not terrible, but it's not good.
No,
This could have really brought the Empire down before it even started.
if Iron Man hadn't been such a home run,
Right.
Iron Man was such a hard swing and a hard home run that it trumped this being pretty mediocre.
I wonder
I
how much
think
they paid. Well,
Yeah.
just for Mark Ruffalo for Ed Norton to play that
Norton.
role.
Yeah.
Because he's probably very expensive at this point, you know.
Well, and he wasn't. We'll get there, but he wasn't just an actor either.
Yeah.
Right.
So all right.
Like
So
he did all the music,
yeah,
set design.
yeah. He was makeup.
But yeah, they didn't have the crossover success yet, so it could have turned people off. But yeah, it was shortly after that, like, everyone's sister and grandma and uncle knows characters from the MCU.
I mean,
this could have blown it up.
I mean, there was a point. I mean, 2012 really was the year it broke free. All right, so coming in at number 6, a New York writer is finally getting married, but her 3 best friends must console her after one of them inadvertently leads her would-be husband to jilt her at the altar.
Sex and the City?
Yes, indeed, Al.
God damn, all the points.
And you get sex and the points. Maybe just the points.
No, we won't tell you who the sex is with.
Yeah, that's a surprise.
That's the fun.
Oh, wait. So there's 4 of us. There were 4 of them. All right. So which ones are we? Who's?
Okay. I don't know.
Watched the show enough to know.
Yeah. Let's see. I'm the like gross ratchet one. What's her name? Kim Cattrall.
Samantha. You're the Samantha.
Yeah,
I do know. I know all 4 of them. My wife was a big fan, so I've seen quite a few peripherally.
Well, you don't have to explain yourself.
Okay.
Well, you do all the work for us, so I think you're Sarah Jessica Parker.
Oh,
that's true.
I am half horse. That's terrible. That's terrible. She's a lovely woman. I'm sorry. Let's see. Oh, Al. Al is definitely the Miranda.
I don't know what that means. But that was
because she's a lawyer.
Funny to hear.
And Al is well spoken.
She's the smart
I don't know
angel.
what that means. But yeah, which leaves the one that was in Sharkboy and Lavagirl as Brian.
Heck yeah.
Cynthia Nixon? Is that
No, Cynthia Nixon was Al. The other one, the one that was in Sharkboy and Lavagirl.
Oh, the mousy one.
Yeah, what's her face? I can't remember her name.
I mean,
what are we talking? What's his face? No, I'm thinking of Sky High. I don't remember the characters from this movie.
Yeah,
from Sex and the City.
Or from Sharkboy and Lavagirl. It's all. It seems so far back in the past at this point.
Sex in the Lava Girl.
Sharkboy and Lavagirl and Sex in the City.
They're just in the city.
Kristen Davis was her name.
Kristen Davis, yes.
Say it. Say her name.
Charlotte.
You love her. Oh,
her name was Kristen Davis.
So I guess I'm Charlotte.
Yep, that's the thick and thin of it.
Coming in at number 5 this week. Halfway through this thing, guys. In 1957, an archaeologist is called back into action and becomes entangled in a Soviet plot to uncover secrets behind mysterious artifacts.
Indiana Jones and the Crystal Skull.
Yep.
Yeah.
Almost, Al.
Oh,
the Kingdom.
The Kingdom.
The Kingdom.
The Kingdom.
Indiana Jones and the Kingdom of the Crystal Skull. So, Al, you get 7 points. Josh, you get 3 points. And we all get a Crystal Skull from Dan Aykroyd.
And Gene Siskel, because I had Karen Allen.
That's right.
And Le Bouffe.
Shia LaBeouf.
Yeah, he's a French-Canadian lumberjack to me. Le Bouffe.
I'm pretty sure to himself, too, in his internal monologue.
Sounds like it.
Yeah.
Sounds like it.
Oh, God, this movie. Okay, coming in at number 4. An Israeli Special Forces soldier fakes his death so he can reemerge in New York City. I'll finish that sentence after I hear some guesses.
No, never mess with the Zohan.
Yes! I was not expecting you to get that. Oh my God, Brian!
Wow. I was
Adam
thinking that
Sandler.
like Eric Bana Israeli team at the Olympics when I can't remember what that was called.
Oh, that was
an
a good
intense movie.
Yeah, that was.
Yeah.
The hostage one, yeah.
Was it? That was Spielberg, wasn't it?
Yes,
Yeah.
and based on a true story, of course.
Wow. Yeah, you get like 47 points, one for each one of Adam Sandler's movies that he's made for Netflix.
And a hairdryer.
Yeah. Oh, wow. Coming in at number 3, oh lordy. A science teacher, his wife, and a young girl struggle to survive a plague that causes those infected to commit suicide.
Whoa, bummer.
This movie stars Mac Wahlberg and is directed...
It's The Happening?
Yes!
The Happening.
The Happening.
The Happening is happening.
The trees are going to get us.
That's when my frustration with M. Night Shyamalan went to anger.
Oh, yeah. No, that's the movie that tipped him from being
quirky,
an uneven auteur into like a flat out hack. Like, what the fuck are you doing?
I didn't see this movie, so the plague makes them kill themselves?
The trees make people commit suicide. Plants and trees make people commit suicide.
That's weird.
And Mark Wahlberg is the one in the middle of all this, and Marky from Boston, not Mark Wahlberg, is equally disgusted and bored with the plot of this movie. It's terrible.
It's one of the worst movies I have ever seen, period.
Period.
What
and he's a science teacher. Mark Wahlberg's your science
and
teacher.
he followed this movie up with Avatar: The Last Airbender.
Ooh, yeah. I haven't seen that either, but I've heard terrible things. Oh, 08. This might go on my 08 list just because it sounds awful, and I like when we watch awful movies.
It's crazy, and it might. Yeah, I think it's a good candidate when we get up to 08. Oh, which reminds me, we have our winner for our monthly movie, everybody, for February. We have our.
We
winner.
should do that at the end.
We'll do it. Okay, we'll do it at the end. I mean, if you want.
Reveal.
So, all right, coming in at number 2, the Dragon Warrior has to clash against the savage Tai Lung as China's fate hangs in the balance. However, the Dragon Warrior mantle is supposedly mistaken to be bestowed upon someone who is a novice in martial arts.
Monkey.
Drunken Master or something? I don't even know.
Right. It sounds like
this sounds like our what was it called?
Oh,
the Trauma movie.
The Trauma.
Kabukiman.
It sounds like Sergeant Kabukiman.
It does sound similar.
It does.
A little bit.
No, this was Dragonheart.
No, this is animated.
Oh,
starring Jack Black.
Oh,
Kung Fu Panda.
Yeah.
Kung Fu Panda, yeah.
The first one?
Yeah, the first one. Yeah. And coming in at number 1 this week, Bruce Banner, a scientist on the run from the U.S. government, must find a cure for the monster he turns into whenever he loses his temper.
Not the government, one guy.
Yes!
Yeah.
Yes, that is a very good point. Yeah, so it did. It had hit number 1. It wasn't a flop. It did fine.
Not surprising.
It did okay. So yeah. That is our box office top 10 for the week. That brings us to our comics and character background. We discussed most of this when we did Ang Lee's Hulk from 2003. Go back and look through our older episodes to listen to that one. It was a lot of fun. But Al, do you have anything new to tell us about the comics and character background this week?
I do. I've got 3 new characters to talk about. Real quick, I wanted to talk about the Incredible Hulk animated series. I don't know how much we delved into that last time. I forget.
When did that run?
That was from 2006 to 2008, which surprised me because I could have sworn that I watched this when I was in high school, but I was in college at the time.
All right.
So I, in preparation for this, because this movie wasn't on Disney Plus, but the Incredible Hulk cartoon was. So I ended up watching like 7 or 8 episodes. It ran for 21 episodes. Lou Ferrigno was the voice of the Hulk in that.
Cool.
Neil McDonough was Bruce Banner. And we're going to see him as Timothy Dum Dum Dugan in the MCU.
That's cool.
He was a Howling Commando.
Yeah. And most recently in my viewing, he's been recurring character Damien Dark in the Arrowverse.
In your viewing?
Yeah, in my viewing.
Yeah, no. I like to picture being a show only you can see.
Fantastic in Band of Brothers, too. Yeah. That's where I know him.
Oh, that's right. Yeah.
Right. Oh, yeah.
We had John Vernon as General Ross. He was the dean from Animal House.
Yeah.
Mark Hamill as Gargoyle, a reluctant servant of the leader. Luke Perry as Rick Jones, whose motorcycle antics created the Hulk.
Mm-hmm.
Who? No, I'm sorry. Go ahead, Al.
All right.
Yeah.
Matt Frewer as the leader. Robert Hayes did an episode as Iron Man / Tony Stark.
He's from Airplane.
That's right? That Robert Hayes. Richard Grieco was the Ghost Rider in an episode.
The Grieco. Wow.
This one really surprised me. Kathy Ireland played Ogress for 5 episodes.
Get us Kathy Ireland. Okay.
And Maurice LaMarche as Doctor Strange.
Nice.
Maurice.
And there were a couple of times when he's talking to his journal. I don't know. But he
did in the show, I think, right?
He refers to himself as Dr. Robert Bruce Banner, reflecting on the mistake that Stan Lee made way back in the day when he mistakenly called him Bob Banner, and they had to retroactively change his name to Robert Bruce Banner.
It could have just been something he missaid.
No.
Well, that's not how Marvel does it. It becomes a no prize at some point if you do that, you know?
Yeah.
He put it in print.
It's
all right.
You know, Marvel and Star Wars are so similar in that George Lucas does something half-assed, like just one-off thing that like means nothing, and suddenly you have like 3 novels about it.
Right, you have to incorporate it in. Yeah.
You know, we all remember the Bosk and Dengar books.
Oh, lordy.
We all do.
Anyways, Al.
Moving on to new characters that we see in this film. First, we've got Emil Blonsky, the Abomination. Created by Stan Lee and artist Gil Kane, first appeared in Tales to Astonish number 90, April of 1967.
Wow, been around that long.
Yeah. Stan Lee chose the name The Abomination because he realized it hadn't been used yet.
I bet all sorts of names hadn't been used yet back then.
Yeah.
He found each one.
But he chose the name before coming up with the character background or his appearance. He just came up with the name. He went to Gil Kane and told him to make him bigger and stronger than the Hulk, and we'll have a lot of fun with him.
Gil Kane is awesome. Yeah, sorry. Just throwing that out there.
So, Emil Blonsky was introduced as a KGB agent who deliberately exposed himself to a greater quantity of gamma radiation than that to which Bruce Banner was initially exposed. He did this using a machine which Banner was planning to use to commit suicide.
Whoa.
He became a large-scaly humanoid, even stronger than the Hulk, and defeated Hulk in their first battle.
That checks out.
Yeah. The Abomination is similar to the Hulk in his strength, stamina, speed, durability, and regenerative powers. Unlike
and their views on the environment.
Unlike the Hulk, he retained his intellect after transforming, and he cannot change back to human form.
So he's a talkie drunk.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's a trade-off. Okay.
He has gills and can breathe underwater, and he can enter a state of suspended animation when deprived of oxygen for long periods of time.
All right.
Yeah. That's called passing out.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, in the comics, it looks like a bat. He's got big bat ears, like on his face.
Yes, you're right. He does. Those
like
winged.
Yeah.
Kind of like the creature from the Black Lagoon, almost.
Yeah.
Ish, yeah.
Or dragon-like. Anyway. His strength does not increase in proportion to his level of anger.
Oh, that's helpful.
Well, that's how the Hulk would be able to beat him in the future, because the Hulk gets stronger when he gets angrier. So in a suspended fight, the Hulk would ultimately win.
That's what I mean. It's a great choice. If they both had that ability, it would never end.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Which actually makes the end of this movie make a little bit more sense now that I think about it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The character of the Abomination would develop over the years, shifting from savage brute to master schemer to tortured soul to repentant villain and occasional defender of the weak. And I think you ran for dog catcher at some point.
I was going to say to America's sweetheart.
I've been a pauper, a peasant, a pirate, a poet, a pawn, and a king.
Around the time of this movie's production, comics Abomination was killed in battle by Red Hulk.
Ooh.
Later, he would be resurrected with the ability to project hellfire. Then a cloned Abomination would have the ability to track the Hulk and the power of gamma manipulation.
Wait. So could he do stuff to the Hulk, like through the gamma manipulation, like take away his gamma powers?
Yes or no. Yeah, I don't know. But he could.
Thank you for clearing that up.
Those are literally the three options. Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. No. I don't know.
Pick one. But he could like project gamma or gamma radiation, and it would harm. See, the Hulk would normally be able to absorb gamma radiation, but like Abomination was able to throw so much at him that it actually hurt him or something like that. That's what I read. Never read those comics. There was a character called A-Bomb, which is what I started calling Abomination like halfway through when I, instead of writing Abomination, I just A-Bomb.
When you get that close to him, then he lets you do that.
Yeah.
When you're in the entourage.
That was actually Rick Jones, who at some point after the death of the original Abomination, like inexplicably turned into this creature that looked like Abomination but had like a metal shell, something like that. Didn't look a ton into that because
he's not in this movie.
Yeah.
Wow. So Rick Jones finally turned into a monster. That's curious.
Similar to Rick James.
That's right. Yeah.
Moving on to Samuel Stearns. Created by Stan Lee and Steve Ditko, first appeared in Tales to Astonish number 62, December of 1964. Stearns worked as a janitor in a Boise, Idaho chemical plant. He was not a scientist. Stearns is bombarded with gamma radiation during an explosion of radioactive materials. He is mutated into a green-skinned, super-intelligent entity with an oversized brain and cranium.
Leader. No.
He calls himself the leader. So says the leader.
So says he.
And embarks on a career of crime, creating artificial henchmen known as the humanoids.
They're also a prog rock band.
Yeah.
The humanoid.
Pardon me. Despite his genius-level intellect, the leader is repeatedly foiled by the Hulk.
Aren't they always?
Yep. So we're proving that it's brawn over brains.
Yeah.
Absolutely. And finally, I've got way more on Dr. Leonard Samson than this movie deserves. But
who played Samson?
Who was Dr. Leonard Samson?
Phil Dunphy.
Oh!
Whoa!
I didn't even put that together.
In the comics, Samson has green hair, right? And is like super muscular, like Hercules and those hair. Ah.
Yeah.
Interesting. Phil Dunphy.
Since the character name shows up here, I thought I'd throw it out since he doesn't show up anywhere else in any of the movies so far. Dr. Leonard Samson, created by writer Roy Thomas and artist Herb Trimp, or Trimpy, whatever, first appeared in Incredible Hulk number 141, July of 1971. He was born Leonard Skavorsky Jr. As an adult, he was a college professor and psychiatrist. He worked with Banner in trying to cure his Hulkism.
His Hulkamania.
I used the phrase Hulkism in my notes thinking it was funny, but apparently it's just a thing.
Well,
it's a condition. It's no joke.
I made it up myself.
Parallel thinking now. Parallel thinking.
Yeah.
You discovered it, so naturally it's named after.
It's called
not in the article.
Yeah, aka Owl syndrome, since he named it.
Hulk.
While working with Leonard Skavorsky, Banner is temporarily cured by siphoning off his gamma radiation. Leonard himself exposed himself to some of this radiation, which gives him a superhumanly strong and muscular physique, and it causes his hair to grow long and turn green.
It's so funny. Everybody's always like, yo, let me have a taste of that.
Right.
Gamma radiation.
Like, this is some good gamma.
Right.
Don't bogart the gamma bong.
Do not. Let me have some.
Before the radiation in his body eventually stabilized, his strength was proportionate to the length of his hair.
Like Samson from the Bible.
Yes.
Like Samson. Conveniently enough, his mom had given the nickname of Samson to his father, Leonard Sr., because his father had long hair.
They're all, we named the dog Indiana.
So Leonard Jr. Took on the moniker of Samson himself. Doc Samson's flirting with Betty Ross causes Banner to grow jealous and re-expose himself to the gamma radiation, becoming the Hulk again to battle Doc Samson.
Yeah, in this movie,
Lord.
it was a little too much like Superman. Like, take my powers away, bang Lois, get back in this chamber thing, get my powers back.
Yeah,
it's unnecessary.
Feeling guilty about his role in his patient's return to Hulkism, Samson would devote much of his time to working with Banner in years to come. He's a genius psychiatrist, not worthy of a whistle because he's not a general genius intellect, but he is a skilled combatant, technician, and inventor.
Aren't they all?
Yeah. He has superhuman strength and durability, immunity to earthly diseases, and a resistance to telepathy.
All right.
That's all I know about that.
Woo. Thank you, Al. Wow. I did not I had no idea that he was that. That Phil Dunphy was a actual person. Anyways.
Right.
There was where was it? In reference to the comics and this movie, not just the characters, but the origin story that they had here in the movie was actually references Ultimate Marvel's take on the Hulk, which also had him created in an attempt to make super soldiers.
Okay.
Right. Well, and they allude to Steve Rogers and that.
Yeah.
Even right down to it got put on ice, the whole project.
Yeah, we get the from Tony. All right, thanks, Al. So I just
there was a Sorry. Yeah, it looked like you froze or I froze. There was a scene that didn't make it. It was filmed, but like Banner went up north to commit suicide.
Jesus.
And there was a quick shot at the end of that scene that briefly showed Captain America frozen in the ice.
Oh, interesting.
They just pass each other.
All right. Okay. So thanks, Al. I wanted to briefly touch back on the Incredible Hulk TV series, which we did talk about a bit in our Hulk episode from 2003. But just briefly to recap that was probably the most successful Marvel property on screen prior to a lot of the probably prior to the Spider-Man movie. Raimi's Spider-Man. It ran for, in one form or another, from 1977 to 1991.
I remember being a kid, and on in general, on Fridays, it would be that and the Dukes of Hazzard back to back.
Wow.
I remember being very excited for that.
Yeah.
Towards the end, it ran in the form of a bucket of water.
Yeah. Yeah.
Eagle.
Yes. It started off with two TV movies, The Incredible Hulk, and The Return of the Incredible Hulk, both of which
Sex
in the City and The Incredible Hulk, both of which were shown theatrically in other parts of the world, not in the US, so they did not make our original list, but they will be coming up on our extended list once we get through our main list. So
their interpretation of Daredevil wasn't bad. Their Hulk is very weird.
Well, I mean,
that movie.
Yeah. Well, and his name was David Banner because in 1977, the name Bruce was synonymous with gay culture. So they thought everyone would think he was gay if he was named Bruce in 1977.
That is society is so fucking weird.
Yes, it is. The final, I guess 1990, not 1991. The final Hulk movie was in 1990. There was a series which ran 80 episodes and 5 different movies, counting the first 2, which I was just talking about. The last one was The Death of the Incredible Hulk, which was from 1990. A sixth TV movie, was in production. It was going to be called Revenge of the Incredible Hulk, but it was canceled when Bill Bixby tragically passed away from cancer in 1993. So pour one out for Bill Bixby. He was a great David Banner.
He was.
That's that. This movie itself was originally going to be a sequel to Ang Lee's 2003 Hulk. Even going into production, they were considering it a soft sequel. They actually, at one point, made up a name, said it was a requel, which is half reboot, half sequel. Thank you, Hollywood, for doing that.
This might be a sort of a Mandela thing, but I feel like I remember at some point reading an article about Peter Skarsgård being the leader in a Hulk movie.
I don't know.
I made it up. All right. Okay, moving on.
Okay. This let's see. So basically they were planning a sequel all along, like as soon as Ang Lee's Hulk came out, Ang Lee very quickly said, "No, I'm not making another one of these." So he was out as director and or writer.
I think that's a good choice. We talked about it during the first Hulk movie. It was not the right movie for Ang Lee, who is quite an accomplished director.
Yeah, he was. Ang Lee's work is great, but it was weird and wrong. It was not a good fit. Yeah. Abomination was going to be the main villain pretty much from the get-go. The leader was considered also. They decided when they really started getting going on this one to classify Ang Lee's as a parallel universe one-shot.
Okay.
Yeah. They have they were already classifying all this stuff and being like, this is canon and that's not, but then it's a parallel universe.
Right.
So it was directed by Louis Leterrier, who is a French filmmaker. He made the Transporter films, the 2010 Clash of the Titans, Now You See Me, and he was the showrunner for the Dark Crystal series from a couple years ago. Yeah, I don't know. He seems to be just kind of a director for hire, as far as I can tell. Nothing super impressive.
Right.
He came on and he was offered this because it was originally offered to Jon Favreau, but no, I'm sorry. Louis Leterrier was originally offered Iron Man, but Jon Favreau came on board for Iron Man, and Marvel said, "Well, as a compromise prize, you can do Hulk."
Consolation prize.
Consolation prize. Thank you. Yeah. They said they originally were looking at adapting Hulk Gray, which was Tim Sale's retelling of his first appearance.
Where he's a boat captain, right?
Yes. It was written. This film was written by Zach Penn, who did the X-Men movies. We've talked about him before. He'll get a credit on Avengers. However, when they hired on Edward Norton, not Ralph Cramden's friend Ed, but the actor Edward Norton, he also insisted that if he was going to star, he would get to do a rewrite on the script. And they said, sure. So Edward Norton rewrote the entire script without credit. He got paid for it, but he did not get a credit on it. I think that's because he is not in the writing guild, if I had to guess why.
Yeah, could be.
From what I read, most of Norton's rewrites had to do with dialogue, but the plot was mostly Zach Penn. That's why Penn got the credit. They said just changing the dialogue wasn't enough to give you full right.
I read briefly, that Tim Roth was saying Ed Norton was rewriting scenes daily.
Yeah.
Which is a nightmare.
It is 100% a nightmare. And also, like, Edward Norton, dude, come on. Bring it down a notch.
Yeah, exactly. This is why movies have directors. There needs to be a leader. You can't have some rogue agent rewriting the script every day from their trailer.
No.
It's like, here, I've got pages. Fuck you, Ed. We're having lunch. What are you doing? You rewrote it?
So, reportedly, Louis Leterrier's original choice for Bruce Banner was, in fact, Mark Ruffalo. Yeah.
Twist.
Apparently, Edward Norton was asked because of Fight Club. He plays two, he has the split personality thing.
Right.
So they were like, hey, you can do split personality. Come here and just stare blankly at the camera for an hour and a half. Sorry.
Yeah. I
don't know. I'm not a fan of the work he did on this film in particular.
Well, and Mark Ruffalo recently played 2 characters on an HBO miniseries, which was incredible.
yeah, right.
That was crazy. That miniseries was out of control.
Incredible. But yeah. Ed Norton is not the only one with the ability to play 2 characters in one movie.
Right, and I would argue
not that he played 2 characters.
Right, I don't think that he did. That ends up being the twist in the climax of the movie, but he was his character, and Brad Pitt was his character all the way through.
He plays a guy sleepwalking.
Right.
You know?
Yeah.
That's it.
That's it.
He didn't play 2 characters in Fight Club, and he didn't play 2 characters in this movie either.
Yeah.
Oh, have you ever seen Primal Fear with Richard Gere? I think it's Primal Fear.
I've heard. No, I've never seen it.
It's not good. And Edward Norton pretends to be this. I think he had associative. Yeah. He was supposed to be split personality, and it was not very.
Oh, that
convincing.
That was his first movie. That was his first big movie.
It?
Yeah. Primal Fear. That's where he got his big start. He then of course
he played a serial killer or something.
Yeah. That was his big break out of stage into film. Then he did Everyone Says I Love You, People versus Larry Flint, American History X. That was good. I mean, he was good in that, I thought.
Yeah. It's an incredible movie.
Yeah. Chilling to the bone.
Yeah.
Seriously.
Yeah, for sure. Oh. I honestly like him best in his what's his face? The Moonrise Kingdom, Grand Budapest Hotel.
Wes Anderson
movies. Yeah, I think
this is the Boy Scout leader, bumbling idiot.
Yes.
Yeah.
So all right. So Ed Norton, Lou Ferrigno did the vocal performance of Hulk throughout this.
Oh, good.
Wow.
So this is his 3rd portrayal of Hulk.
Mm-hmm.
Right. That's awesome.
Yeah.
I hear he's a genuinely heart of gold, nice guy.
He strikes me as a really chill dude in every
whereas
thing
I've heard Norton is kind of a prick.
Yeah, exactly.
Lou Ferrigno is gentle giant Andre style.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, I've heard nothing but Ed Norton being hard to work with and full of himself. So.
Yeah, no doubt. He's in his trailer rewriting the script.
Right.
He's muy importante.
Wasn't he in Death to Smoochie? Wasn't that another one that he did?
Yeah, Death to Smoochie. Yeah. That one was okay. All right, so we got Lou.
I'm sorry, were you going to talk more about Lou Ferrigno?
No.
Oh, okay. All I wanted to say is this dude's still working.
Good.
A lot.
Yeah.
And he's looking good. That's all I wanted to say. 2020, he's still got stuff coming out.
Well, he was on King of Queens. He was also in I Love You Man with Paul Rudd and Jason Segel.
That's
he plays himself in that.
Nice.
Paul Rudd's trying to sell Lou Ferrigno's house, and there's a giant bronze statue of Lou in the yard. So that's something the buyer has to want.
I do. I look for that when I'm looking at real estate.
How many statues of Lou Ferrigno does it have?
One. I'm not sure that's enough. Yeah. All right, so we've got Liv Tyler as Betty Ross. She got her start as one of the Aerosmith girls, along with our very own Batgirl. She was in Silent Fall, Empire Records. Empire Records was really good.
Oh yeah, she was cute in that.
Armageddon, and then of course she played Arwen Undomiel in the Lord of the Rings trilogy. Bride of Aragorn. Who ruled over Minas Tirith for 900 years.
I mean, you guys know the books better. She seemed like good casting.
She was good.
She seems elven.
I think that's the best role she's ever played was Arwen, without question. Timmy Roth, Mr. Roth.
One mention. Liv Tyler, we're going to see her again in Super.
Oh, that's right.
In a few months.
Yeah.
All right.
Tim Roth.
Weird casting.
Yes. He was really big in a lot of those prestige British films in the 1980s. The Cook, the Thief, His Wife and Her Lover, Vincent and Theo. Then, of course, Rosencrantz and Guildenstern Are Dead, which is a great movie and was nominated for our February monthly movie for the year 1990. I first became really aware of him as an actor in Reservoir Dogs.
Yeah.
Mr. Orange.
Yeah. And then
Pulp Fiction, of course.
Exactly. Pulp Fiction. 4 Rooms. Oh, he was the bellboy. He was so good in that.
Yeah. He was the connecting piece.
Yeah. He was in The Hateful Eight. Rob Roy. He's Tim Roth. You know who he is.
Tim Roth. He's small in stature.
He's very small. I noticed that in this film. He is very small. Then we got...
Which doesn't really matter. It's just an interesting choice.
Yeah, it is. Tim Blake Nelson as Samuel Stearns. I, for a second, didn't recognize him because he didn't have a southern drawl.
Right.
He was Delmar, No Brother, Where Art Thou? Ballad
That's
of
where I first saw him.
Yeah. That's the first place I became aware of him. He was in Holes. He was Buster Scruggs.
Oh, Holes.
In the Ballad of Buster Scruggs. He was in Syriana. And, of course, recently he's been playing Looking Glass in Watchmen, the series. Well,
he was also on Kimmy Schmidt.
Oh, yeah.
A recurring character. Her stepfather. Yeah, he's pretty funny in that.
Yeah, he is.
In this movie, without the southern accent, he sounds like Adam Driver to me. Like I closed my eyes and I just heard Adam Driver talking. It's weird.
All right. So Ty Burrell plays Leonard Sampson. He is best known as Phil Dunphy from Modern Family. He actually did other things too, apparently. He was in Black Hawk Down, which I don't remember. Evolution, the David Duchovny film from 2001. I don't know. That's the most interesting things he did, really. Dawn of the Dead.
Right. That's the first time I saw him. Yeah.
We got William Hurt. William Hurt. His first movie was Altered States, which is
I love that movie.
I watched that movie as a child and it scarred me for life.
Never forget it.
It's a good movie.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And didn't he win an Academy Award for Kiss of the Spider Woman? Or was that Raul Julia that got that?
I don't know that he did. No, he did. He did. He did. Yeah, he did.
He is the most phoned-in actor that I can name in the history of actors.
Absolutely. But he also got nominated for Children of a Lesser God, Broadcast News.
Yep. He was in the Big Chill.
Chill. History of Violence, AI.
Him and Edward Norton together on screen is just like a snooze fest, man.
Oh Lord, it is. It is. Yeah. And then of course we've got a cameo by Robert RDJ himself as Tony Stark. This movie has a now I gotta wait for it. This movie has 67% on Rotten Tomatoes, which I feel is about fair. It's not terrible, but it's not great. And let's see.
It's interesting. It has a 67% on IMDb as well. 6.7 out of 10.
That's right where it is.
Crazy.
Peter Bradshaw of The Guardian wrote, "What Hulk smash most? Hulk smash all hope of interesting time in cinema."
Hulk smash our hearts.
Did we? I brought it up in conversation, but do we know why Ed Norton was recast with the Mark Ruffalo?
I still haven't looked into it too much. I was kind of going to leave that for Avengers.
Okay, gotcha.
Short version is that negotiations broke down between Norton and Marvel Studios.
I assume it's incredibly expensive.
Compensation.
Again, a compensation, and I haven't looked into it, but I heard he wanted some sort of writing abilities on Avengers, and both Joss Whedon and Kevin Feige were like, no.
No.
Did you see your last movie? Do you watch those?
I don't know if it's true, but I did hear that Ed Norton also just wasn't feeling like being a team player. Like
he's difficult to work with.
He wanted to be a star.
Yeah, he's difficult to work with.
Star.
Yeah,
he couldn't share starhood.
Yeah. So, guys, you ready to jump into the movie itself?
Hulk smash.
Eat green.
Hulk sadly walked down the freeway with his thumb out.
That was out of context. Eat green was uttered by Hulk several times in the cartoon.
Was he urging children to eat their vegetables?
Yeah,
no, he was usually throwing a helicopter at something.
Okay. I was going to say, or was he saying it to Betty, which could be an entirely other. All right. So here we go, guys. This is The Incredible Hulk. We open with a credit sequence. This again felt very 2000s and not at all MCU-like.
Well, except for the anatomy, the inner body stuff that they showed.
Yeah. I mean, yeah.
That's Marvel-y.
Yeah.
The synapses and so it wasn't exactly the same. But reminiscent.
Yeah.
And this is the requel element of this movie, is them retelling the Ang Lee film.
Yeah.
In the titles.
Yes.
Yeah. With different people playing the characters.
With different people, and it's slightly different, but not super different.
Yeah.
I found Hulk POV sort of jarring. There's a lot of that in the titles. People just terrified of him,
Yes.
You're looking through his eyes. Yeah.
I'm used to that, so it wasn't too unusual.
Is that how you look?
That constantly happens.
That's how I experience the world.
Straight ahead. All right.
I feel like even in the first minute, this movie completely dismisses the Ang Lee version of the movie.
Yeah.
Like I don't see any ties at all.
I mean, he went to South America.
That was it.
Yeah. That's bad.
That was all.
Yeah.
For Carnival.
But there were a lot of visual similarities again to the 70s series. The flashes of the skull X-ray in his face, his like eyes turning green while it's
just the eyes.
Modeled.
Yeah, definitely. And like I said, like if you look at the opening credits sequence of the Incredible Hulk TV series, he's in a machine that looks almost exactly like the machine he's in during the credit sequence here.
Yeah.
So all right. We get the condensed origin story. Bruce becomes the Hulk, injures Thunderbolt and Betty Ross, and then he goes on the run. Angry William Hurt, like, oh, I'm so mad at you for being the Hulk.
But I don't seem that mad, do I?
Yeah. Time passes. We catch up with him in Brazil. He's learning Portuguese from Portuguese Sesame Street. I thought that was cute. I like that.
Yeah.
We get the Bill Bixby cameo there. Then he's learning techniques to control his anger. He works at a soda bottling plant.
Okay, I have to ask.
Our way.
Doing it our I didn't even think Laverne and Shirley. But so are they making Slurm?
That is guarana flavored soda.
Yeah. I was thinking Jalisco. Like
Oh yeah.
Look like pineapple drink.
It was called Pingo Doce with guarana.
Ooh. Yeah. And it's apparently very popular in Milwaukee. So Jude asked, why isn't he working somewhere where there's not like a lot of people? Why is he working? Yeah. Why is he working at a place that's full of like pretty ladies that want to bully him and people that want to bully him?
He could have been to like a horse farm or something where there's like 6 people that work there.
Yeah.
Right.
Far away from the middle of town.
Where if he
one of the most populated countries instead.
Yeah, where if he cuts himself and bleeds on something, it's dirt. And he's not going to have to
That's another good.
Or if he loses his temper, he doesn't destroy the favela. You know, like, it's like I'm really trying to protect people from me.
So I'm going to go to one of the most populous cities on Earth.
Yeah,
right.
This is where his Aikido instructor lived.
Yeah, well,
that's it.
His Brazilian jiu-jitsu instructor, because that was coming into vogue at the time.
Capoeira.
Sure. The actor is a famous Brazilian jiu-jitsu instructor, but he was credited as an Aikido instructor.
Is he a Gracie?
In the credits of the movie.
Because he looked like a Gracie. Is he a Gracie? I don't know.
I have
I
no
don't
idea
know what a Gracie is.
Oh, the Gracies are like the premier jiu-jitsu family. They trained all the famous people who have trained all the famous people.
I had no idea.
Me neither.
I'm looking it up. You guys continue as you were.
All right, so
I'm looking it up too. Hang on, I'm almost.
Brian, who's going to get it faster? Al, Brian in the lead, Al in the lead. I'm making this up.
I forgot the
can't
question.
tell. I can't see them. I can't see their hands. Oh my God, what are they touching?
Maybe they don't have hands.
It's possible.
There's one.
We live in a world without people. There's just screens. There's only screens in my world. I have to go lay down.
Damn it, I thought it was right here. Yes, it is. He is a Gracie.
Oh, look at there.
You want a cute little Gracie.
Rickson Gracie.
Oh, yeah. So he's one of the sons of Hoyce. That's interesting.
All right.
I'm pretty sure.
Sons of Hoyce.
Let me know if I'm wrong.
I wouldn't know.
Right?
I researched this movie and I wouldn't know. So, all right. He cuts himself. His blood gets into a bottle of soda. There's also a sexy bottling lady and some bullies there who like to harass sexy bottling ladies.
Just really briefly, is that how the Hulk's blood works?
Oh, yeah. Good question.
Like, isn't it just blood, I guess?
I mean, no. If you drink the blood of a Hulk, you become a Hulk yourself, like a vampire.
Everybody knows.
Or you're just, your lips swell, and turn green?
Yeah, like an anaphylactic type situation.
Yeah.
I was going to say like a Kardashian. Anyway.
That's a rough condition, yeah. But who drinks the contaminated soda?
Stan the Man.
Yeah, Mr. Stan Lee, credited as Milwaukee Man. So,
and they're ambiguous about what happens to him.
I know, but it's fun to picture that he hulked out on his own.
Yeah, I was hoping he'd turn slightly green before they cut away from him, but he did not. Yeah. So, all right. Bruce procures some flowers. Then he communicates with another scientist, codenamed Mr. Blue. He does it via
Doug. His science setup. He made a centrifuge out of a record player and bicycle parts.
Yeah, that was cool. That was very Marvel of them.
Yeah,
right. Coming right after Tony Stark, same kind of thing. Yeah, making something out of nothing, scrap parts.
Well, it's interesting. The first two MCU movies were about the scientists in the group.
That's a good point.
Yeah. He tries to turn the flowers into a cure for his Hulkism. It doesn't work. Mr. Blue convinces him to send some of his blood to him for a test. Public service announcement, everybody. If someone asks you to mail your blood to them, don't do it.
Yeah, you don't want to do that. Yeah.
Yeah, I might be in some trouble, you guys.
A lot of DNA in there.
They probably don't work for Ancestry.com.
They're splashing it all over crime scenes, throughout the Midwest.
Yeah, everywhere. It's this guy.
So when they're showing the blood underneath the microscope, was testing the serum that he just made, they start to turn normal. Then the blood cells themselves all hulk out.
Yeah.
Yes, they do.
They were mad for being exposed to oxygen or something.
Angry blood.
Well, I feel there was a scene in another movie where it showed this sort of thing through a microscope. Like they thought they had it, and then
Darkman.
Was it Darkman?
Oh,
Darkman.
So.
How's the skin going?
How's the skin going?
Like we have 1 hour of it not turning you into the Hulk.
But back to your don't send blood in the mail to anyone. We just saw how dangerous and how seriously Bruce takes it. when his blood is spilled anywhere.
Yeah. So he's trusting international mail.
Yeah. If it fits his ships.
Well, and he also puts their top secret fucking encrypted code names on the box.
Yeah.
And he has this man's physical address.
Yeah.
I don't think it even had a P.O. box on there. It wasn't even a P.O. box.
They don't understand Minecraft. Yeah, like none of this makes sense. It should have been like from, Fred to Timmy. Yeah. Not your
He's
top
like,
code
all
names.
I got is Sesame Street here, man. Come in the swag. That's it.
So all right.
Also, he sent this much blood, and later on in the movie, I have so many questions about the blood.
There's a lot of blood.
There's a
lot of blood.
There is a lot of blood later. Yeah, we'll get there. So Thunderbolt Ross gets word of the Milwaukee Man getting gamma radiation poisoning from Brazilian soda. I hate it when that happens. So he sends a crack unit to find Banner, including Emil Blonsky, who's an ace soldier on loan from the Royal Marines.
Born in Russia, raised in England.
Rocking in America.
Yeah.
It's like cool detail.
He's continental. Yeah.
Yeah. He's worldly. He looked the whole time like he was like just doing this while he was getting ready to shoot another movie. Like he didn't seem like he was really in costume. And they're like, yeah, put the fatigues on me. Let's go.
He looked like he needed to shit the whole time. That was my thought on Tim Roth's character.
He's shirtless a lot, and it's a confusing physique that he has. It is. It's like kid in the gym locker
because he's
scrawny and weird.
Well, it's because he's not. He's not like just scrawny. He's like oddly shaped. Like he's got like a thick torso and scrawny arms.
He's built like a wrestler. He's built like these MMA fighter guys are.
Yeah. All right, so Banner gets word that Mr. Blue had a breakthrough with his blood and can cure him, but he needs more data about the original experiment that turned Bruce. Meanwhile, the team of soldiers arrive at Bruce's apartment, and Bruce manages to escape, running as they chase him through the streets of Rio.
Just once on the rudimentary internet computer that he had, Mr. Blue should have been like, send nudes.
And so I'll save it for unanswered questions. So he runs to the bottling plant where the aforementioned bullies have been hanging out there all night after their shift ended.
We're addicted to work, man.
It made it feel like there was some corruption going on and they didn't actually work there, maybe, like the gang ran it or something. But none of that was alluded to until this moment where they're just there.
Yeah.
But you're right,
well, They were a couple of blocks away. Again, they wanted to live close to work.
And party close to work.
They were just hanging out in the street. They weren't, but they were nearby the bottling
plant. They weren't in the bottling plant? Because the entire thing was just dark and wet asphalt.
No, when he runs into them, they're not in the bottling plant. He then runs to the bottling plant.
All right, that escaped me in all the shadows and wet asphalt.
Yeah, I thought the same thing. I thought they were just inside in the dark, like sitting around,
hanging out in the bottling plant.
Yeah,
no, he goes there. Yeah, it's like they'll never suspect me in that place we all work.
Never. Yeah. The soldiers arrive. The bullies cause him to Hulk out, and he destroys the whole crack team except for Blonsky. Then bounds off into the jungle.
He makes the hungry joke again, doesn't he? He makes the "you wouldn't like me if I'm hungry" joke again when he runs into the goons.
Oh yeah, he still doesn't know angry. He still does not.
Didn't. No, he said the right word this time. He said angry this time. But he said it badly. He was like, I'm bad angry.
Yeah.
So he's grammatically incorrect, but he does use the word angry. And then the head tough is like, oh, you bad angry, G?
I'm bad angry. Yeah.
I'm bad angry.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Okay, so Blonsky and Ross collect Bruce's computer. Ross tells Blonsky about the whole Hulk thing. Then
The whole Hulk thing. He's back on his bullshit again.
Right. Bruce wakes up in the jungle in Guatemala. He decides to head back to the USA. He doesn't get a shirt until Mexico.
No, pants, more importantly. Yes. I know he has those tattered ones, but yeah. Between Guatemala and Chiapas, there was not a pair of pants.
Nothing. No one loaned him like a shawl. Nothing.
The dude in the truck gave him a blanket.
But apparently took it back after he left the truck.
Coffee from a Greek diner. Yeah, he did take it back.
A cup of coffee from a Greek diner. Yeah.
I liked the scene of him waking up next to the waterfall. It was very on brand for the Hulk.
Yeah.
Just to be out next to a tranquil waterfall in the jungle. That's where
I had to Google the distance between Brazil and Guatemala.
Uh-huh.
It is over 3,000 miles.
How far is it from Guatemala to Chiapas? Because that's how far
next to each other.
They're right next to each other.
I mean, there's some distance enough to take up some pants. That's all.
As a human being, but I mean, he traveled 3,000 miles overnight. Basically, is the Hulk.
Even more important, yeah.
I mean,
which not to squawk that he can travel really far and really fast, but it would have been interesting if they had done more than just say waking up in Guatemala. Most Americans, I had to Google it. I don't fucking know how far those things are from each other. They're not in America.
Yeah,
right.
Yeah. All right. So, meanwhile, Blonsky tells Ross he wants to hunt Banner. Ross tells Blonsky that Banner didn't realize his research was supposed to be weaponized, and he offers to use some of the serum on Blonsky.
He offers.
Bruce arrives back in the U.S. Where is this university? Where is Culver University?
Okay, I have a question. It seemed like it was Colorado, but then they mentioned the Smoky Mountains.
Yeah, I don't know where it is.
Looks like Al knows what it.
Well, I've got a sort of a timeline, sprinkles of clues. Culver University is fictional. There's actually a Culver and University is an intersection in Irvine, California. This was filmed at Toronto, the University of Toronto. But yeah, the Smoky Mountains, that put them somewhere in the vicinity of Tennessee, Georgia, or the Carolinas.
Right.
Later, we see that in the very last scene, he gets mail from the pawn shop in North Carolina. But then he mails, spoiler alert, he mails the necklace back to Betty with a Virginia address.
Okay.
So I think Culver University is supposed to be in Virginia.
And so they drove.
It's a Virginia location in the MCU. There's a couple of other movies that reference it too.
So then the scenes on the road were Betty and Bruce going to New York, right? They're driving to New York. Yep. That's how they end up there.
Yeah.
All right. And all. Yeah. Okay.
So Bruce had to sneak across into the U.S. Undocumented worker style.
Yeah.
All right.
I thought that would have been that's a scene that they should have included. It would have been really neat, him entering the United States,
right?
And road tripping.
I was expecting it, honestly.
Yeah.
Well, because it would be a funny sort of visual irony because no wall can stop the Hulk. In fact, the Hulk hates walls like the Kool-Aid Man hates walls. And so, showing him trying to get over a wall as Bruce Banner could have been funny.
I think this shows that Marvel was not getting political with anything at this point, really at all.
Sure.
Sure. Whereas now, I think if they were to make a movie about this now, they absolutely would have had him in a car or in a truck or with a group of immigrants coming across the border to make a political point.
Yeah. There's always been a barrier at the US border. But anyway.
All right. So he scopes out his old university lab, sees Betty with her new boyfriend, and heads to his old pizza maker pal. What's up with this pizza maker guy?
I bet he worked for him. Well, no, he might have worked for him in college, but he definitely ordered from him.
Sure.
In the lab.
We see later Betty goes in and expects service after they're closed, which seems like that's a thing that being a professor in this small town, that's a thing that he allows.
He seems to have a special relationship with them though. He's not just a regular customer.
Was it the Ang Lee one that had Martin Starr in the lab?
No, this had Martin Starr. This had Martin Starr.
This was this one?
Yeah.
Okay, yeah. That's who he brings. Okay.
The Stanley, the pizza parlor owner, he's played by Paul Soles, who was the voice of Banner in the 1966 Marvel Superheroes animated series.
Oh.
And he was also the voice of Spiderman in the 67.
Oh, wow.
Huh, See, that's cool. Crazy. This movie deserves a lot of credit for shit like that.
Yeah.
That you just didn't know about. That's wild.
Absolutely. All right, so he take the pizza. I was confused every time he didn't have an Italian accent. Every time, because he looks like he just should have been, hey, it's my old pal Bruce.
Well, yeah.
Well, they're not in New York, so.
That's true. They're in North Carolina. He's the most authentic Italian guy in North Carolina or Virginia.
Yeah. He takes him in, gives him a job, I guess, or just lets him go undercover with his stuff. I don't know.
Yeah, I love that. That's the favor he asks.
He borrows the pizza gear to sneak into the lab.
Yeah,
and some pizzas.
Yeah, he sneaks in using the power of pizza, bribes his way onto a computer past Lou Ferrigno and Martin Starr.
The moment with Lou Ferrigno was cute when he says, "You are the man," because that was like Norton talking to Ferrigno.
Yeah,
that wasn't Banner talking to the guard. That was
yeah, that was cool.
That's a good point. Well, and Lou calls him brother. Like, thank you, brother.
Yeah,
and enjoys the pizza. Like you said, the power of pizza is it's legit. That's a legit phenomenon.
Pizza.
I'll let people in my house if they bring me pizza. I don't give a shit.
Yeah,
pizza will get you
get a lot done with pizza.
Anywhere for sure.
Yeah.
Concerning Martin Starr, this character, they just called him Computer Nerd in this movie, but the character was retroactively revealed to be Roger Harrington, which is his role in the Spider-Man movies.
What is that? They officially did that? Because I heard there was some confusion. But that is
officially did that.
That is him officially. Okay.
Kevin Feige confirmed it.
Okay. Awesome.
That's cool.
So he retires from research, or I guess he graduates from grad school and becomes a science teacher.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Huh. That's cool.
Yeah.
Yeah.
There's only like 400 people in the Marvel universe, I guess.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right. So, all right. He discovers all his research has been erased from the university computers. He decides that he's going to just move on when Betty and her boyfriend decide to go to the pizza parlor. Betty spots Bruce, who hides.
Okay. All right. She sees him, and it's almost trance-like. She stands up, and now it's all about Bruce. Like she ghosts Samson as bad as Bruce ghosted her years ago. Like she just gets up and walks away, and that's the end of their relationship on screen. We don't see them together again. It's wild.
I would like to point out that Betty Ross is this Betty Ross in this movie is one of the worst female characters I have ever seen on screen.
Yeah, pretty terrible.
She exists solely to provide emotional support to Bruce Banner / the Hulk. Period.
Yeah.
She is his emotional support woman.
Yeah.
Yeah, I felt like Dreamweaver should have been playing in her mind when she saw him through the window.
Yeah.
Like she's just like in her own universe at that moment.
And it's true. She walks into that universe and never goes back.
Yeah.
As we'll find out later, it was her contribution to the initial experiment, some serum that she created that kept Bruce from dying of gamma radiation. That's what kept him alive.
Right.
So she did have a small part in the science, not just being a female.
Well,
no, I got that impression all along.
Sure, but as a character,
both movies.
I mean,
she didn't do anything.
As a plot device, sure, but as a character that exists in the world, she did nothing else. Like she
was kind of a shitty person.
She had no internal life other than
she was a data repository in addition to being his comfort.
Yeah.
Right.
Like, I have the data here.
It's in me.
Which I was going to save this for the end, but tell me one thing about Betty Ross that does not have to do with Bruce Banner in this movie. I'm not talking about outside of it. In this movie, tell me one thing about her that doesn't.
Like she's flighty.
Is she? I don't know.
No, but like, did she have any scenes that weren't, focused around the Hulk? No, I don't think so.
Only when she was walking and met Phil Dunphy before he saw them.
Yeah, they were.
She doesn't speak to her father. That's something.
But why doesn't she speak to her father?
That's true.
Because of Banner.
And even when they confront each other, her dad is in that tank to fight Banner. You know what I mean? She's trying to stop him. So, yeah. And she's certainly never talking to another female character. That's for sure.
Yeah.
Well, there's only one.
There isn't another female character. Yeah.
Right.
Well, other than the sexy bottling lady from the beginning.
Make that 3. Well, because then there's also the Major is a woman.
Oh, that's right. That's right.
No, the Major was a lady suffragette.
All right. So Betty spots Bruce, who hides. But then later that night, she comes upon him walking down the road in the rain. Mm-hmm. Lucky that.
Well, I feel like because she pressed Stanley for the truth, and Stanley must have told her, because I don't think she just happened to come across him. She was like searching for him.
Okay.
But I thought he he went on the run unexpectedly because she saw him.
Well, he was planning on moving on before he saw her.
Okay.
Like he was going and he was packing up his stuff, and then she saw him.
Okay. All right.
I don't know. It was still like I don't know. They cut out a lot of stuff, clearly, as we saw from the trailer. So maybe there was something of him telling Stanley where he was going to go to, so she was able to figure out what road he would be on. As it is, what's in the film, we have no way of knowing how she would know where the hell he was.
Sure.
So, all right. He goes home with her. She reveals that she kept a copy of Bruce's research on a flash drive. He tells Betty that her dad wants to turn the Hulk into a weapon. Meanwhile, Thunderbolt gives Blonsky a low dose of the Hulk juice. Bruce and Betty do some light flirting, and the next day, they're saying goodbye at the university for some reason when the general and his strike team attack Bruce. Bruce swallows the thumb drive, which was the most horrific part of this entire movie.
Yeah, and of course, I thought the intent was to shit it out, but I was wrong.
No, yeah, I thought it was gonna. Yeah, I thought it was gonna be a number 2, not a number 3.
Yeah, I don't think he'd be able to puke it back up like a day later.
No.
Right, exactly.
Yeah, no, he might as well just sit on the can.
It's like my stomach is a storage pouch, much like a marsupial. It'll just stay there.
Right. Well, and he hulked out and then unhulked. Like that thing could be in his appendix. Like,
right by now. Why didn't you shoot it out like a rocket?
All right. So, They attack Bruce. He hulks out. He destroys the army team and their tanks and helicopters. We see Blonsky is now like real fast. They fight.
Yeah, but they're all acting like Benson from Silsbee, Texas. Just your bullets don't work, but shit, just keep emptying those rounds, man.
Just do it, yeah.
Just shoot them.
This is the first time that Betty sees him as the Hulk,
which is odd.
Yes.
And this was another thing where it's a complete departure from the first movie. It's like that was not a prequel to this. But yeah, when he first turned into the Hulk, the lab exploded and she didn't actually see him.
That's right.
Then he leaves when she's still in a coma, when she's still in the hospital and asleep, and then he's gone for 5 years.
Right, when there had to be incidences because there's a little clock counting down. So it's odd that she never caught a glimpse of him in any way. I mean, I guess you're right about the destruction of the lab, but if she was his partner and not just his girlfriend, you think she would have.
Well,
seeing the outcome of the experiment.
Yeah, I mean, she was still unconscious in the hospital when Thunderbolt was being mad at him and telling him to leave.
I see. All right, so you're correct. This is the first time she sees him.
But
the Beast.
yeah. But yeah, so anyways, Blonsky fights the Hulk one-on-one. Hulk kicks his ass. Betty gets injured. Hulk grabs Betty and runs away. Well, she doesn't get injured. She just gets knocked unconscious, which is an injury, but not in the MCU.
They use a flamethrower or some shit, and he protects her.
It was a helicopter that exploded around them.
Oh, yeah. Okay, fair enough. Yeah, there was a fireball.
He protects her, but yeah, she's just unconscious and totally cool when she wakes up later in the forest. No issues.
Well, no, and she freaks out.
No. I'm saying no injury issues.
Okay.
Yeah, health-wise, like her hair would have been burned off.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah. He's literally carrying her over this barbecue flame. And her hair is dangling really dramatically. And I was like, oh, she'd be bald. And also horribly burned and disfigured after this.
Just very badly. Yeah.
Though to be fair, if we start nitpicking physics issues in the MCU, we're in for a bad time.
Yeah, that's true. But what was interesting was this was a total homage to King Kong, this scene.
Oh, yeah.
Like she gets less trepidatious and starts to see his good side. He's upset, doesn't know why, wants to hurt her. And then he's afraid of lightning as well.
Yeah, he's throwing rocks at the lightning.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So anyway.
Been there.
Yeah, right.
Been there.
Woo. So all right. So then we learn, let's see. The army found Banner through Betty's boyfriend. Thunderbolt's willing to sacrifice Betty to get to the Hulk. Blonsky's in the hospital, expected to die. Meanwhile, hiding in the woods, Betty calms Bruce down, who de-hulks. Just like this whole scene, like I'm your mother and your lover, Hulk. Like I'm calming you down.
I'll teach you and help you. Sun's getting real low.
Emotional. What is it? Like the emotional heavy lifting. That's all she's there to do.
That's what she'll do. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. All right. So they get a motel room the next day. She pays. Bruce pukes up his thumb drive. They spend the night in the motel, kiss for a little while, but Bruce tells Betty they can't do the nasty Hulk dance because he'll get big and green.
The nasty Hulk dance.
And then she would explode, correct?
Yeah, I would assume so, yes.
We've never seen the Hulk's
weenus. They had the bit with the bright purple stretchy pants.
Yeah, that was cute. That was fun.
Stretchy?
They were the stretchiest they had. It's like, I'll take my chances.
I noticed that no matter what pants he was wearing, they always got wet and dark and purplish. No matter what pants he was wearing to begin with. Not full purple, but a little purpley.
Yeah, I agree.
So, all right. So, back at the base, Blonsky just heals up. And he's all good, ready to go.
He's doing good, yeah.
Yeah. Bruce and Betty go on the run off the grid. She has to sell her mother's locket for travel money. Bruce sends his data to Mr. Blue, but the military intercepts his message. That was the scene where it was in the cyber world and the military was intercepting the message.
Yeah.
Jude just started laughing because it was such a 2008 look at like the internet.
The internet.
It was practically hackers with like the numbers just floating around people's heads.
Right.
So, all right. So they know where he's going in general. They know he's heading to New York. Betty suggests to Bruce that he try to control the Hulk rather than just get rid of it. They discover the military has a checkpoint going into New York. So they take a boat. They a secret boat from New Jersey, I assume, into Manhattan.
Just find a guy in Staten and he'll just put you in his boat.
I mean,
what's the plan with the roadblock? Like the Hulk won't go any further. without showing identification.
Well, yeah.
Skip the roadblock, maybe.
Be like, do you have any oranges? Any fruit you want to declare?
Declare. I declare fruit.
It's not how it works.
How it works, Michael.
You can't. Yeah. Oh God. Okay. So they arrive in New York. They have a very bad cab ride. This scene felt so out of place.
Yeah.
It was like from a different movie.
Yeah, it was supposed to be very lighthearted, comedic.
And like it was a MCU-ish kind of scene, but it just did not land for me personally.
No.
Yeah.
I was okay with it.
All right.
I do like her screaming at the end. That was the only part that made me chuckle a little bit.
It was the only time she spoke above a whisper in the entire film.
Yeah,
Right.
yeah. It gave her character for one brief moment.
Yeah.
And then her telling him to zip it.
Yeah, that was good. I like that delivery. Yeah. So all right, they find Dr. Samuel Stearns, aka Mr. Blue. We got Mr. Blue, Mr. Green, Mr. Orange.
Yeah, Tim Roth's in there.
Yeah.
He's Mr. Orange, right?
Yeah. They use his lab to try to cure Bruce. It seems successful, although Stearns can't tell if it's going to be a permanent cure or just temporary. The military moves in to catch Bruce and Betty. Meanwhile, Stearns reveals he's been replicating Bruce's blood and performing experiments. Yeah. So we can just
whoopsie.
We can just replicate blood now.
Yep. Yeah. Yep. He had so much of it.
He had a lot. He made a lot of blood. This should really. So this is This is a universe that now has Blade in it. So that means there are vampires in the MCU, which means that this guy has a cure for vampires having to hunt humans because he can just make blood.
Maybe, but then it's at the same time, Bruce's blood is poisonous, apparently.
Well, yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, what happens if a vampire eats his blood? Do they get hulked out?
Interesting. Yeah, I don't know.
That's a Marvel one shot.
A biochemist or whatever kind of scientist he was.
Yeah. What kind of scientist are you?
A gamma scientist, I guess?
Yeah, just gamma. Just general gamma.
Yeah,
in my science pit.
I have a doctorate in gamma.
It's just gamma.
So, all right. Bruce wants to destroy all of his research, but just then he gets tranked by the military. They capture him. Blonsky is like freaking out. He's getting real roid ragey.
Yeah.
They load Bruce.
He's trying to get him to transform.
Yeah, he wants him to Hulk.
He's still itching for a fight.
Yeah. Which, I mean, would not have worked well for him if...
Not at this point.
No, not at this point. It was a bad idea on his part.
So was it that it was only a temporary, or did he have to re-power?
No,
did he lose his powers at any point, really?
No, it seems that was just temporary. He didn't actually lose his powers. All right. Stearns said...
He says it multiple times. Like, it might, or it might not.
We
might
don't
just
know.
be this time.
Yeah, we don't know. And it was just that time, it turns out. So, yeah, they go... Bruce and Betty get in a helicopter. They're taking Bruce back to the lab. Luckily, the trank wore off pretty fast. Back at the university, Blonsky knocks out the major lady, and then doesn't have to spend too much time convincing Stearns to give him a dose of the Hulk juice.
No.
So before we leave Stearns' lab, I have one question about it. Why does every science lab have a leather human experimentation bed with straps on it?
This is a university.
Everyone. Like, sir, you're a pediatrician.
Right. Yes.
Like, there are all kinds of weird gray areas in this movie, but that one is a moral, dark area.
Well, even if it's a decrepit warehouse factory, like in Batman or recently Dr. Doom, it's like, It's just, but they all have that.
Well, but this is a university science. Like,
and he has his covered in plastic. Like he's like, oh,
it could get messy.
I save it. We need to be able to use it at any point in time. I don't want to have to dust it off.
Like every time I give Hulk blood to somebody, they just shit and shit. It's horrific.
But I could see him like he has to get funding from for this.
Yeah,
this is a university.
He takes donors on tours through that place.
He's also got the chomp guard and the lobe shockers.
Right. It's like, sir, you have a doctorate in linguistics. What are you doing?
What are you doing? And that was a very antiquated electroshock.
Oh, God. Yeah, that was like One Flew Over the Cuckoo's Nest era.
Yeah,
but then
it felt like Guantanamo.
Right. And at the same time, that sciencey bullshit where, like, there's all this equipment, but he's got to roll from one keyboard to go tap, 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 and he's got to roll over to another keyboard.
he has to kick a box. Multiple times.
Right. Yeah. What is all this shit?
But you have a glass room full of bags of labeled blood.
Yeah, exactly.
That you synthesized.
Yes.
This is the most expensive machine in the entire hospital.
The blood duplicator.
And this is the machine that goes
ping. So Stearns gets some. All right. So Stearns does the whole Hulk thing to Blonsky, who turns into Abomination. Abomination messes Stearns up a little on his way out the door, and Stearns gets some of Banner's blood mixed in with his own head wound, and his head begins to pulse and enlarge. Which must have been very confusing for your average viewer who has no fucking idea who Leader is.
Right.
Yeah. That's not how you leave a clue for a future movie, too.
So this is a thread that was never tied off in the MCU. Leader is out there somewhere, apparently.
Apparently.
So, all right. Abomination runs amok through New York.
Okay, Harlem. It could have been any nondescript
the Apollo
place
was right
in New
there.
York City. It could just be a city. Yeah.
But he's got to go uptown and mess up their neighborhood.
Yeah, they turn Harlem into a war zone. That's worse than
motherfuckers.
He almost hits Omar Little with a thrown car.
Oh, that's right.
Yeah. Holy shit.
Michael, yeah.
Yeah, he's just visiting town from Baltimore.
Yeah, exactly. Omar's not coming. Omar's on vacation.
So, all right. Ross gets word about what's going on. Chopper heads back to the city. Bruce convinces the general to let him fight Abomination. He and Betty have a tearful goodbye, and he does the jump out of the helicopter and lands in the pavement. The Hulk fist comes out. Does the big fight with Abomination through the streets of New York.
I thought the CGI was pretty bad. I did not like the Hulk.
It didn't hold up.
First of all, there was no face modeling. There was nothing to indicate, as opposed to Ruffalo later on. Maybe it was technology, but that was a totally different Hulk. They probably didn't even know who was cast yet. But ironically...
Are you sure that wasn't just Ed Norton's face the whole time?
Just like, I've rewritten the script. I am the Hulk.
He's like, I am expressionless throughout.
But ironically, I thought Abomination looked cooler than Hulk. They both looked pretty lousy, but
The CGI did not hold up. It was a huge step backwards from what was going on in Iron Man. Step backwards.
There are 2 or 3 shots of the Hulk that look good. When they're in the cave with Betty, when they're on the rooftop and the lights shine on him. And then there was like one other shot where I was like, oh, okay, I buy it. But everything else in motion. Yeah, the motion looked awful.
It did. It looked very CG. It was, that said, the design was way better than Ang Lee's 2003 Hulk, but.
Yeah, that's true.
The green was a way better green than Ang Lee's weird green that he had.
Yeah. Well, and the musculature, the texture.
Yeah. And I mean,
he looked ripped. He didn't look puffy. He didn't look like a rubber doll.
But I mean, again, they had
Michelin.
They had 5 years to to, get texture better. Right. So, all right. So they fight. Abomination is winning. Then the Abomination brings the helicopter down because Ross is trying to shoot him. Then I was honestly confused until Al reminded me that Hulk gets stronger as he gets angrier.
Yeah.
Because it seemed like Hulk was just getting his ass kicked until he suddenly wasn't.
Yeah.
Well, he sees Betty's at risk and it upsets him.
And that upsets him, and he gets stronger when he gets angrier.
That's the King Kong element there, yeah.
So then...
But it's cool that he was using the front ends of two cars, and they looked like the Hulk.
The Hulk gloves.
You could buy. Yeah. Back in the day.
Yes.
That was kind of fun.
Yeah, that was great. He chokes out Abomination. He doesn't kill him. Yeah, he just chokes him out with a chain.
Because she just tells him to stop. He's about to pop his head off.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, she's like, no, he has to stand trial.
we see a couple of like classic Hulk moves. We hear him say Hulk smash.
Yeah.
And he hits the ground and it causes the earthquake,
the crack
open
thing
in the building.
Yeah.
And then the helicopter's about to burst into flames and he claps his hands together.
Baby Hulk slap.
Yeah, he's done that, yeah.
And it like creates a vacuum basically, which doesn't burst their eardrums or kill anyone in the helicopter.
Yeah.
Which, they're Jello people inside that steel cage. They would all be dead.
Yes.
Yeah.
Anyways, I thought those were cool moments.
They were, absolutely.
At one point when he's choking Abomination out, he like pulls the elbow spike. He rips the elbow spike out of his arm and stabs him with it.
Yeah.
That was rough.
I don't understand how Blonsky's bone elbows were able to puncture the Hulk's skin. That's something that bugged me a little bit. Because even Wolverine...
Gamma.
Some gamma loophole. But like Wolverine, anytime that Wolverine would fight him, he would like puncture him and he would heal immediately. But he's like bleeding out this whole time. So yeah, something gamma. I'll buy it.
Yeah.
I'll believe it.
Yeah, no. So all right, I'd like to point out there's a crowd of civilians watching this, like with like phone cameras and everything. I feel like this is I feel like that was a late addition. After seeing Iron Man and like Iron Man being public, I feel like the whole like public superheroes thing, they decided to play into that. I don't know.
It became deliberate. Yeah.
I don't know if that's true or not, but that's what it felt like to me.
We won't revisit this in a movie, but we see it in the Netflix Marvel universe because it's all based out of Hell's Kitchen, that same area of New York. They talk about this at great length. That's the most we revisit this scene in the Marvel universe, basically, which is really, really interesting to me, seeing that, having them like, oh, remember that time that Harlem got torn up by that big green guy and that other guy who had bones sticking out of him, like kind of vaguely talking about the Hulk.
Yeah. That's why I think it's weird that Betty never saw him as the Hulk. I understand not in person, one-on-one. So that would have a different emotional effect, of course. But she had to have seen him.
All right.
No, in all the paper clippings, they never had a photo of him. They didn't even have a shot of him on the campus when the kid had the cell phone.
That's true.
Yeah.
There's that one of him just walking through the forest.
All right. So Hulk bounds off into the night.
Because the other helicopter comes and shines a light on him. He's like, Hulk no like to be in spotlight. Hulk prefer anonymity.
Hulk backstage.
Hulk puppet master. He does say one word, Betty, and then bounds off into the night. It's always the girl. It's always the girl.
Who then fades into obscurity. She disappears forever.
Well, she sadly visits the Statue of Liberty at some point later. We see her.
Oh, that's right.
She does not know to recharge her digital camera.
Right.
Yeah. Or buy batteries.
Or buy batteries.
Yeah. If only I knew how to.
Yeah, it dies. I'm pretty sure that picture still exists on the hard drive with the camera, Betty. It's not gone forever.
I think they were implying that it gets deleted forever, though.
They were trying to imply that. Yes.
Yeah. But Brian's right. They never revisit this. The Hulk returns, but no mention of Betty ever returns.
Everett Ross returns.
Oh yeah. Ross, portrayed by the same actor.
Don't they name check her in Avengers?
In Ultron, they're talking about their girlfriends. They're trying to one up each other, but he's not really participating because then after that scene, he and Nat have sort of a little scene at the bar.
Yeah. All right. So in the woods, Bruce gets Betty's locket back. He meditates and then apparently transforms into the Hulk on purpose. It seems like he's like smiles. Yeah. He's like happy about it.
He's meditating to gain control so he can learn how to Hulk out at will.
Yeah.
Did anybody catch the address on the package from the pawn shop?
No.
So the pawn shop was in North Carolina, but it said Milburn Pawn Shop, Highway 61.
Ah, nice.
What is that a reference to? I'm sorry.
Highway 61. It's just a Bob Dylan reference.
Oh, yeah. Okay. I thought the name was... Sorry. Yeah. Highway 61.
Hulk getting control. Betty was the one who told him because he's like, I just want it out of me. She says like, well, why don't you just learn how to control it? Mm-hmm. And then we see that later on with Mark Ruffalo being like, I'm always angry. I can become the Hulk whenever I want.
Which is the culmination of that spark that she sparked there. Yeah.
And it's why...
Well, actually, I guess Professor Hulk would be the ultimate culmination. But anyways, I'm sorry. Go ahead, Josh.
Which we got, right? I mean, because that's what I mean. They stuck to the evolution of the Hulk, including this one. This one, he's barbaric and can't communicate and understand. And then he gets a little brighter. Then there's Ragnarok Hulk, who can think and articulate, but he's still Hulk. And then finally, Professor Hulk, Ruffalo, who permanently changed. Yeah. So good for them. Once again,
revisiting his development in Endgame, where Hulk hates the stairs. It's such like a small step forward for him in development, but it's cool to re-see that.
Yeah, for sure. So, all right. Then we get what's supposed to be an after credits sequence, but is before the credits.
It's before.
In a bar somewhere, Thunderbolt's getting very drunk. Tony Stark shows up.
Drinking chartreuse.
Yes.
Which is a liqueur. Yeah.
Guarana. Soda.
Yeah, he does.
Yeah.
Tony Stark shows up, references the Super Soldier program, tells Ross that they're putting a team together. Oh, I'd like to point out, too, that in the beginning credits, we did get a reference to Stark Industries and Nick Fury.
Yeah.
Oh, yes, that's right.
Well, and the device that the Blonsky stuff, the serum is held in, has Stark Industries on it, too.
Yeah.
The Blonsky method.
And that's it. Roll credits on The Incredible Hulk.
No.
Sad music.
Yeah.
Hitchhiking on the freeway.
The lonely
he's
man.
He's definitely become more credible as the movies went on.
Yeah. Okay. I have a few unanswered questions.
Okay, shoot.
What happened to Bruce's dog? Tim Roth tranked him, and then he's just an ownerless dog in Brazil.
He's just a favela dog again.
Yep.
Yeah. Probably a stray to begin with.
He probably left the doors open.
Made me legitimately sad.
Back to the streets from whence he came.
Yeah. I had, is Liv Tyler capable of speaking above a whisper?
No. Only when she is very upset.
Why? Yeah. Oh, yeah. At cab drivers.
Right.
Why does Thunderbolt Ross hate universities? That he destroys them so prolifically.
Well,
in the original comic, he hates intellectuals.
Science. Yeah, experimentation, but so does the whole boomer generation.
Yeah.
You know, like the intellectuals, Harvard intellectuals, and the Berkeley intellectuals. Yeah, it's somehow a bad thing.
And my final question: how many laws did General Ross break in his extra-constitutional pursuit of Bruce Banner on American soil?
That's why I'd asked. Yeah, it seems like it's just his little rogue mission.
Like the military is not allowed to operate like that within the American,
especially domestically. Yeah,
domestically, exactly.
It would have been really neat to have S.H.I.E.L.D. be doing this and him kind of trying to drag S.H.I.E.L.D. along doing it.
That would have been cool.
Yeah.
Real quick, I forgot to mention this during the casting, but Tim Roth is set to reprise this role in the upcoming She-Hulk series.
Wow,
really?
That's cool.
Yep.
That's cool.
Nice.
I'm honestly wondering if we're going to get Leader at some point too. I mean, I feel like they're bringing back every little thing that ever occurred in any Marvel movie.
They might as well.
Leader in the
She-Hulk.
She-Hulk would be cool.
Yeah.
So I have a few unanswered questions regarding the larger plot of the Marvel Cinematic Universe. The Leader has effectively developed a vaccine for hulking out from moment to moment.
Yeah.
Right.
So it may not work forever. But how does Tony Stark not know about this? How does S.H.I.E.L.D. not know about this if they were there after the fact?
Yeah.
It's like
'Cause they made
we have
Veronica.
the Hulkbuster.
Right. Hulkbuster.
Why not
exactly.
put one of these injection things in the Hulkbuster and just stick that in his neck? And it's like, cool, sweet. Now we're just going to take you somewhere and, put on some like Zen music.
Like your
You know?
Mr. T in the 80s.
Yes, exactly.
Tell him he wasn't on a plane.
Well, they'd have to put him in a dialysis machine
Right.
to make it work.
That's true. Well, I mean,
Yeah, they
Tony
did
Stark
mention
can
that.
weaponize anything, I guess. You just get a couple of these machines that attach to him and pump those into his
Fair.
Hulk butt or whatever. That's the biggest like hanging thread for me on this movie is like, damn, we have the ability to make him unhulk. Why do we need Black Widow to be like, hey, big guy, let me just touch your leg, touch the inside of your thigh?
Well, I mean, did Abomination
talk
destroy
about the sunset.
Like he's on an acid trip. She's just guiding him.
Yeah. Did Abomination destroy all that lab stuff though on his way out?
Potentially.
Yeah.
Potentially, yeah.
I mean,
The doctor seemed like a pretty. He seemed like he was taking notes. He seemed like he had been working on this as his like.
Right.
He wanted to win a Nobel Prize.
yeah.
So
Did he, when he transforms into the Leader, does he scurry away with all his research?
Oh,
I wish they had shown some scurrying.
I'm down for any sort of
I love
scurrying.
scurrying.
that would have been a really cool post-credit scene. Is actually having a post-credit scene of him like, walking down the freeway, thumb out, happy music.
Yeah.
Or something.
Or
With
on
a
a
bulbous
beach in the
head.
Caribbean.
Yeah.
With a big weird hat, like a shawl wrapped around his head.
A chef's hat. Yeah. A turban.
All right.
So, all right, that brings us to the rankings, guys. We need to put this on the list somewhere.
2003's Hulk is at 49. It's way down.
How many
there.
movies total have we done? We're on 74?
75. This is the 75th.
75?
Oh, huh.
75.
Well, it's better than Ang Lee's Hulk, but not by a whole lot.
Is it better than Howard the Duck?
Yeah.
Yeah, it is better.
I thought this was leaps and bounds above the last Hulk.
I agree.
Oh, yeah.
I agree. No
And
gamma radiated poodles.
It was very on brand. Being chased by the military, it basically started from from Go.
All right.
Having the big bad fight with the Abomination. I mean, that's what we wanted as fans, was Hulk fighting a
more evenly matched.
A more evenly matched thing. And it's at the end. It's in a populated area. It's not him jumping around sand dunes and fighting weather.
Yeah.
And they retain elements for future MCU. So, yeah, it is better than Howard. It's better than the first one.
I think it's better than the Fantastic Four movies. If we're,
I was just going to ask.
Absolutely. I absolutely agree. Is it better than, let's see, is it better than Superman 3?
Yeah.
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 I
think this should go pretty high up compared to some of these other things.
Wait,
too.
Superman 3?
Yeah.
That was Richard Pryor?
Yeah.
That was a hot mess, but...
Well, I mean, it was a fun hot mess, absolutely.
Yeah.
But,
yeah.
Okay, so above Superman 3, we've got Turtles and Darkman.
Well, it's better than... no, I don't know.
Constantine. Wow, we have Constantine way up there. Every once in a while, I get really surprised by a movie where we put it. I'm like, really? We did that?
Constantine's really good if you watch March of the Penguins in the middle of it. Yeah. I'm sorry.
I'm just a little befuddled by why Constantine's at 23. That seems really high. Wow.
It wasn't awful. It had a lot of cool elements.
It wasn't a bad movie. I'm surprised. Above that, we've got Sky High, Mystery Men, Blade 2.
Al, what are your thoughts? Where do you think it should go?
We're in the right area. I don't think it's gonna go above Superman Returns.
No,
which is just above Blade 2.
Yeah, I don't think so either.
Is it better than The Mask?
I don't know if this is better than Blade 2.
Yeah, I kind of agree.
So we've got these three here, which is like a kids movie and 2 comedies. Somewhere between Blade 2 and Constantine, I feel like, and The Mask. Okay. Yeah, so like.
Better than Sky High. I don't know if it's better than Mystery Men because that has a place in my heart. But
yeah,
it's better than Sky High, which wasn't bad.
We want to put it in,
or maybe right after.
Yeah, at number 21.
I'm up with that.
Okay.
All right, here we go. The Incredible Hulk went in at number 21. I'm curious to see if this is going to be our lowest rated MCU movie.
It might.
We've got a couple stinkers coming up. I mean, not stinkers by MCU standards, not like
4-2.
Yeah. We've got Iron Man. We've got both of the first 2 Thors. I mean, none of those are like Civil War, Guardians of the Galaxy level stuff.
Right. Yeah. And Captain America never did anything for me. Like I never cared about that character. So it'll be interesting to watch him again, see if that's changed.
Yeah. I mean, I like Chris Evans' Cap, but yeah.
Oh, I like it. Oh, yeah, definitely, I like that. I meant the character itself. It was the same when I heard Iron Man would be the first one. Like, really, Iron Man? But yeah.
So, all right. So, a couple quick things before we get on to next week's movie. Our monthly movie, which we were going to reveal at the end for February, is going to be Gremlins 2. It won by a mile. Like, It was not even close.
It is certifiably batshit nuts. Like,
it got nearly 50% of the vote.
Wow.
It's crazy.
Wow.
It was not close.
Crazy.
After watching Gremlins for the Christmas for December, and this happening to be the year, I just knew we had to do it. I got confused because I also watched Die Hard after watching Gremlins. I think it was Christmas Eve when I watched Die Hard, but 1990 was our year. Is that correct?
Yeah.
It was also when Die Hard 2 came out. So if Die Hard had won, I would have nominated Die Hard 2.
Yeah.
Or Die Harder.
Yeah. Well, yeah. Gremlins 2 is just insane. It's like
Gremlins 2.
They ended up not having a franchise, and I feel like they told Joe Dante to ruin it.
Yeah.
Like go in there and ruin it. Make people hate fucking Mogwais and Gremlins.
But do it in the most batshit crazy way you could possibly do it.
So crazy. And then there's a Donald Trump character.
That'll be interesting.
Yeah. Clamp is his name, but yeah. All right.
So yeah, that's it. And next week, join us for Harmless Phosphorescence when we will be watching Hancock. The Fresh Prince.
Woo!
That'll be interesting. I haven't seen that since it came out.
It's been a while. I thought it was a fun take.
Same. Yeah, Jason Bateman's in it, I think.
Yeah, I remember it being like 50%, like really fun, and then all of a sudden it goes off the rails. Is my
Charlize Theron, right?
Yes, she's in it.
Yeah. Yeah, I remember the plot twist, which I won't say until the plot twist. But.
until next week. So, all right. Thank you, everybody, for listening. This is your host, Thoreau Smiley, reminding you that my whole body is property of the U.S. Army.
I'm Josh CC, and hey, I hate the government as much as anybody.
I'm Brian Lesh, and one day I will have my Gamma doctorate.
I'm Alaric Weber, and my whole body is property of the Kiss Army.
Gamma, gamma, hey, gamma, hey.
Thanks, everybody. Bye.
Bye, guys.